Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Normal World. I'm Dave Landau.
I'm Quarterback Garrett, and I'm excited for this episode. We got
I'm
a couple
very
of great
excited.
guests, man.
We also have Angela.
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you today?
Great.
Good.
Also excited for this episode. It's going to be a good one.
Yes, I agree. Tomorrow night, you can see our first guest. He will be headlining the Loft Comedy Club in Westfield. That's Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Is that
It's
I
actually
believe, right?
Chicopee, Mass.
Is it Chicopee, Mass?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so we looked up the wrong area. Sorry about that.
Don't go
Loft
there.
Comedy Club, right? Oh, there you go, right there.
There you go.
Check him out tomorrow night. Please welcome Yoshi. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to be back.
Thank you. And also on the show today, you can check him out at austinanderson.net. He was a return from yesterday. Please welcome Austin Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you.
I should have clapped for
Yeah,
everybody.
we keep the low energy clap.
And you can see me. They want me to do my plugs up front. So
Get them.
I want you to.
They.
Yeah, they. And by they, I mean me. Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase this weekend. Brad Garrett's Comedy Club coming up in February, as well as the Comedy Works in Saratoga, New York. And check out my special, Comedy Genius.
Ooh, amazing.
ComedyGenie.us.
Do it.
Yeah. And where can we find you, Kitten?
Normally on my channel, my personal channel on YouTube, and Nerdrotic. If you like pop culture and nerd-related things, we do a show on Fridays called Friday Night Tights. It's a lot of fun. Have crazy guests. We just had Vivek on, which was out of the blue. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, we had Benny Johnson on, and he sent Vivek the link, and he just came on the show.
Wonderful.
It was insane. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
We have a rambling, traveling man on the show,
yeah.
and that's why I enjoy having Yoshi on. So I want to talk about this. You were at the 14th Annual Governors Awards in Los Angeles.
Yeah, my friend Hani invited me about a month ago. He just told me we're going to see, would you like to go see Mel Brooks? And I said, of course. And I thought, like a dinner kind of event. I didn't realize it was part of Oscars like 2 days before. And I panicked because I don't have tuxedo. And thank God my great friend Russell Peters had one. And he prepared me for it. And I've never worn one. I was like a little kid. I had to
like purple?
attach. I had to attach.
The fake bow?
Any of it, yeah. I know how to dry cleaning them because I'm Asian, but other than that, I didn't know how to wear one.
I bet your nails were immaculate.
My grandmother did it. So,
Unnecessarily so.
but yeah, I'll make a confession. He got really mad at me because he told me to wear these really nice hip shoes. But unlike him and black people, I don't have swagger. No, they look so cool in it, but I look ridiculous. I kind of panicked, so I wore a conservative black shoes. He got really mad at me. Like, I'm never going to help you dress up again.
Oh man.
I'm like you, though. I feel like Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man when he's wearing the suit with tennis shoes. Like, I don't feel like I can pull it off.
I can't.
No.
No.
Only Justin Timberlake. That's the only one that I've ever seen. When he brought Sexy back,
Yes.
he was on his bus. I remember he had a picture of him, tuxedo with the shoes.
Yeah, he's a sexy guy.
Made him work.
So
It'll work for him for sure. Yeah.
He's got swagger, though.
Yeah. I don't have none.
Something you don't. You say
No,
No, sir.
I can't dance.
I don't believe you. I think you could do it. I think you pull them off. What did they look like? What kind of shoes?
It was just like conservative black.
No, I mean like the nice ones.
Flashy.
Flashy.
It's very flashy, very expensive. I'm sure it was like 500, 700 pair of shoes that Russell has, But I just didn't feel comfortable in them. But he got really pissed.
More angry that you sold them and put on those black shoes.
How dare you?
I would have. You'd be like, what are those? You're like, well, these.
so
$20.
he told you that he'll never dress you again?
Yeah, because he's been very generous. Every time he wore shoes for once or never worn shoes, he'll just give it to me. So like I don't have to buy any clothes. I mean, this is the only thing I bought recently.
That's cool.
You have
I need
to
a
when you
friend
go to
like
Buc-ee's.
that.
It's hard to not go into Buc-ee's and buy something with Bucky on.
100%.
That's great. It's a great place.
My dad always say, if you're not rich, make sure to have rich friends. And he's right.
It's true. It helps.
It helps a lot. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've flown in private jets because it wasn't because of me.
Yeah. I was like hanging out with
Whatever it
rich.
was.
I like hanging out with rich friends and then just pretending I'm a rich person too when we walk in somewhere. But then I'm just like, hey, do you have like a $20 bill I can borrow?
Yeah, like
You got to tip this lady.
Sir, the trash cans are behind the building.
you're just rude to everyone. You're just like you're the most obnoxious person in the group.
I got it.
So what else did you see at this awards? So
Could
you explain what the governor's awards is?
So it's part of the Oscars. So they
The
were
lead up, right?
Yeah, they were celebrating Mel Brooks and also Angela Bassett. She was so glamorous and
Great actress.
yes, and Carol Littleton. And I apologize, I forgot the fourth person, but Carol Littleton was a famous editor and is magnificent. You know, this coming Saturday, I'm going to Vegas for the Porn Award Show. And let me tell you, Porn Award Show got nothing on Hollywood Awards. And it shows when America do something well, it does better than any other country. And that award show was incredible. You seen every who's who of Hollywood there. And I know that you three distinguished gentlemen don't do this, but I was really, my head was spinning around, going crazy because every beautiful person I saw, like, oh yeah, I masturbated to that person. I masturbated to that person. You know, I couldn't concentrate.
I just say that to people.
I've never even heard of the Governor Awards. Is this where they give out awards to people who got away with sex abuse?
No, it's about
That's why they changed it to governor.
it's about
The
14,
governor goes, "You got away with it." Here's
it's about 14, 15 years old, and they will give like lifetime achievement award. People who should have gotten an Oscar, but for whatever reason they haven't got one. And Mel Brooks is 97 years old.
It's incredible. Can we see Yoshi in the suit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
dude,
he
You
got
look like
that.
James Bond.
You don't need tennis shoes. You look great.
Yeah.
You changed out of those
Snazzy.
shoes?
No,
he didn't.
Those are the
I wore those. He got mad.
Oh, and he was disgusted by them.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know
look like
anything
they
about
go.
No, Yoshi, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
I thought you said
you look like you're there to assassinate the governor.
I thought you meant you were wearing Converse.
No. Well,
You were saying
he wanted me to wear something really expensive.
Flashy.
Oh,
Yeah. And Jonathan Branstein, the former manager of Patrice O'Neill, helped me, and his wife Laura Kay. They were wonderful and helped me dress up. But yeah, I was panicking. Like, I didn't realize it was Oscars because I'm getting this text from Oscars, like, your ticket's ready. I thought it was some kind of scam. Then I looked like, oh my God, this is an actual ticket. They've been trying to contact me for the last 1 month, you know.
You just land on, it's
It's
incredible.
like, oops. And then I went to Beverly Hills. My friend Hani Farsi took me. He's a big producer from London. And we went, and Jesus, you talk about a room full of creative times, directors, producers, scriptwriters, and actors, you know.
was Brad Pitt there?
I didn't see him. I know Bradley Cooper was there. Well, is this a sarcastic question?
No, he's just,
Okay.
No, I just wanted to know if he was, if he was really good looking in real life.
I saw
I saw Zac Efron in person, and I told him his face was chiseled. And then I also told him I liked High School Musical, but didn't add the part that my daughter watched it. Yeah. And that's when you
just
stopped
enjoy your
talking to me.
He's like, oh, thanks, Austin.
but Margot
watch it with
Robbie.
sound.
You see these women, like, no wonder they make millions of dollars making movies because
they're on
they're
a
incredible in person too.
on a different playing field.
Yeah.
And in Hollywood, I forget who I said, and I'm trying to think of her name. She has kind of the bug eyes. She was in Ted 2.
Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda, there you go. Thank
Beautiful.
you. Yeah, and she was sitting next to me in this restaurant, and I'm just like staring at her. And my friend's like, "You need to stop." And I'm like, "But it's so magnetic." And it's like she's literally a foot away from you, and you're just staring at her like a creep. But there's
open
like
mouth.
the magnetism of, like, it's a level of beauty that you just don't see in real life.
Even with her eyes bulging out of her skull.
Even with her goofy, crazy eyes.
Googly moogly eyes.
Yeah, even with her
She was so good playing Elizabeth Holmes, and we talked about her before, and she was
That's right. Yeah.
perfect playing the maniac.
she was fantastic in that.
And I think when you go to Hollywood, I don't know, maybe this is like an American thing or English thing, but we are very uncomfortable with beauty.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, because look at all the words that describe beauty. It's very uncomfortable, like drop dead gorgeous, bombshell. Like all the words that describe being beautiful, it makes you physically uncomfortable seeing them.
Yeah.
And when I was there, like, yeah, this is the reason why they make tens of millions of dollars.
Is that why they always make beautiful women uglier in their movies now?
Charlize Theron in
Something about
Monster?
that?
I think that's the reason why powerful men kill them.
I mean, that's-
Because they're beautiful and they're like, they take their
It's
life.
a power play.
No, it's true. It feels better to kill someone who's more attractive than you. I mean, that's true. We all know.
Yeah.
Well, just think if you were
I'm trying to figure this out.
like look at Jeff Bezos or
Our
Elon
sponsor
Musk when they were young, they were hideous.
Of course.
You know, so they still feel like that hideous person because I was a fat kid and sometimes I still feel like a fat kid. So Elon Musk still has to feel like a bald, ugly Martian.
Yeah, and he's making space shuttles and compensating every day.
It's because he wants to go find his family tree.
It's true. Well, you know, we did send Chris, our correspondent down to Sundance.
Yeah.
So we do want to hear a little something from Crispin.
Hi everybody, it's Crispin, and this weekend I went to the Sundance Festival in Salt Lake City. I gotta be honest, when I first heard Sundance, I thought it was gonna be like a little Native American frolic, so I started practicing my Comanche foxtrot, and it turns out it's just some film festival in Utah. I guess it's like the Oscars for Mormons or something. I'll tell you what though, all the stars were out and you didn't have to look up in the sky to see them. Kristen Stewart wore her most lesbian hoodie and Julia Fox put on some denim shoulder pads, looking like she's gonna play outside linebacker for the fucking Calgary Stampeders. I love it. Will Ferrell was in a documentary about him being friends with a trans person, and I'm just glad to hear he's making a sequel to Step Brothers. Speaking of movies no one's ever gonna watch, one of the standouts of the weekend was Irish film Kneecap, which I think was the biopic about Paul Pelosi. Or something. I don't know. I actually submitted a movie this year. That's right. You're probably thinking, what was it about? Well, it was about my penis, and it won Best Short Film. I'm just kidding, it lost. And when I asked them why, they were like, because you shot it on your phone, in a bathroom, at a truck stop, and apparently I wasn't supposed to airdrop it to everyone at the festival. So then I was arrested. And if I'm being honest, this is my one call here at County. It appears it's going to voicemail. So if Mr. Dave or Mr. Quarterback hears this, I'd just really appreciate it if one of you guys bail me out, because I am not built for this. I'll see you next time.
I hope he get my name right.
I know, right?
But, you know, maybe I might think about billing him out.
Yeah. So Yoshi, you visited the Epstein Island house. Oh, this is a weird way to get into that. So let me go
Hard
ahead
turn.
and rewind.
Hard turn on him.
His former home in Palm Beach.
Not the
Yeah,
island.
not
No,
the
not
island.
the island.
I would have loved
Florida.
to do that.
Yes, I did not mean to get. I realized as I was saying it, the worst way I could have possibly segued into that. So
So the list came out. Yoshi, why were you on
I
it?
understand you are a fan of massages. The home was built in 1952. Epstein purchased it in 1990. It was a 14,000 square foot Palm Beach mansion that sold for $18.5 million.
Yeah.
Which is $3.5 million below asking price. I don't know what would have happened. So when did you visit it?
Saturday.
You were there Saturday?
Yeah, I was there I was there a year ago. They tore it down.
I was going to say, I thought they tore it down.
They tore it down.
We just saw a sneak peek of that, by the way.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, that's them
What kind
tearing
of
it
evidence
down?
was in there?
They're like, this is where the bad things happened.
Isn't that a little odd?
So the person that purchased it for that lower price was a
Oh, was a guy named Todd
contractor,
Michael?
I guess, that does this. He goes around and tears down multi-million-dollar properties.
Vanilla Ice buys properties.
He does. He didn't buy this one. He didn't have the money, but the buyer was Todd Michael Glazier,
Yeah.
a Florida-based developer who specializes in multi-million-dollar teardowns.
Right.
He has 3 names.
I think
You know,
Can't be
it's important.
trusted.
Yeah, if you're
I don't remember
man.
exactly the year, but 2007 or 8, Julie K. Brown, famous journalist down in Miami, wrote this article that eventually got Epstein trouble. But that was the property where he had Ghislaine Maxwell recruit tons of these high school girls
Right.
to visit it. And I think a day before he got arrested, I think he got some warning phone call contact. So he removed everything out of the house, supposedly. So when they show up, all the BCR computer recording, they were all gone. And then when he passed away, they tore the building last year, and I was there for that. And when I got back, they're about 2/3 done building this massive building. It looked like Death Star. They're rebuilding up
In that spot.
Yeah, it's a massive building, and
So it's not even a
runs
house.
off the
It's just
soles.
an actual. It's
it's a house, but it's a palatial residence.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. And it's at very end of the road, so it's like a dragon's lair, like you kind of trap the little kids.
yeah, it's like a round 2.
Wait, yeah, I just 2.0.
I just
Dead
thought
end.
that
Yeah.
Epstein was probably in that excavator tearing down the house.
Yeah, that's true. There's a good chance he's still alive.
Yeah, you say passed away. I say escaped.
Well, and I say passed away in the silliest way possible. Like, there's nothing peaceful if he did die. It was
Yeah.
either beaten to death by guards and hung, or
Which is the
Escaped and
preferable
tore
way.
down his house.
yeah. There's no in between. There's one thing he definitely didn't do. That's incredible, though. So this was in
Palm Beach.
okay.
So the next part was wild to me because there's a terrorist connection to Palm Beach.
Delray Beach, Hollywood.
Yeah, Delray.
Mohammed Atta, the leader of 9/11. Like I've been calling him the Tom Brady of terrorism.
Yeah.
And Sheikh
all the
Mohammed, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was the Bill Belichick of terrorism, and Mohammed was living down there. I went to his home apartment in Hamburg and his school in Hamburg.
The guy who lit his underwear on fire on the plane going to Detroit and got the shit beat out of him. He was the Bills kicker of terrorism.
Yes, that's a good one.
What about the shoe bomber?
That guy didn't do
Yeah,
good
he
either.
didn't do good at that.
The one guy who started his underwear on fire, and the other guy next to him on a flight to Detroit just starts punching him in the face.
You know what's so
wrong
weird about
destination.
the shoes guy?
Yeah.
I was landing in Amsterdam as he was flying away from Amsterdam. So we were literally going like this on the same day. And
Dang.
Whoa.
yeah. But yeah, Mohammed Atta was living there. And I was actually in Delray Beach, and I went to the pharmacy where he used to get his drugs. He was had an upset stomach or something, so he was getting ready for 9/11.
Nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were there. They even went to flight training school down in South Florida.
That's where they trained?
Yeah.
Well, I thought I didn't know they trained.
So they trained-
here.
They trained
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
knew that?
I did not know that.
And there's a really weird connection with that small airport. I forgot the name of the place, but they had a really weird connection with other shady shit. Like they might have had something to do with cartel transporting drugs there. But they bought it. They were training anyone. They didn't ask questions, I don't think. And like the journalists, many journalists are saying, they didn't care about landing part at all, and nobody really questioned that part.
I was gonna
It's
say
Lantana
they're like,
Airport.
Just like
Thank you.
we can skip the part about landing it.
Yeah.
I figured that
why
makes
is
sense.
Muhammad never here on that classroom period? I don't get it.
It is interesting, though, because if you do learn to fly a plane down in that area where I would imagine like 1 out of 3, it's got to be shady.
Yeah.
You're like, so how long does it take me to fly to Mexico or Cuba? How long would it take me to come back? How many people can fit in here? Like,
What's the weight limit
Yeah, like
in kilos? Could you give it in kilos?
Like I say, let's say like I'm 180. There's 2 of me, right? How many of me could fit in this plane?
When the wheels go up, can you hide something in the compartment?
Like how much heroin can go in this microwave? I'm sorry, what? Barowin. What's Barowin?
It says that
Medicines.
12 of the 19 hijackers who commandeered and crashed 4 jetliners on September 11th lived in or had connections to Palm Beach
what
County.
the hell?
That's crazy.
And of course, and never having to worry about the landing. 'Cause they're like, no, we're
good.
You guys really suck at this. Like, you really seem to give up at this part and let the trainer take over.
That's the thing. The trainer just going, "Hey man, will you grab the wheel?"
Yeah. It's like, do
This is a really important part of learning how to fly is landing.
you guys want to jump
Gotta go.
out? And they're like, no. There's a reward for us.
We'll be in the
need
back
it.
praying towards Mecca.
Yeah, there's so this happened on a July night in Delray Beach. A police officer stopped a motorist for speeding, and he let the man go with a warning. 9 weeks later, it was Mohammed Atta, and he flew the plane into the building.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that cop's got to feel good.
And Mohammed Atta was also engineer and architectural background, so he knew exactly what part of the building to hit. So that was his thing. And also, when he was studying architecture in Hamburg, he was specifically met buildings where small hallways are only for women. So the way he designed homes, he was able to control how women's behavior and movement was, So everything that he designed was to have a complete control over things. And he thought if you control the architecture, you could control city and how people think. So if you have an ugly city, you have ugly feelings all the time. And poor neighborhood have a really ugly anti-human setup. For example, if you go to LA,
Projects.
Even if you have those bus stops, they have a little spikes in the middle, so you can't have homeless people sleeping. So these little things that you do, you really have impact how people feel about themselves and how they feel about their city. And Mohammed Atta knew that. So he really didn't like when women being outside in public. So yeah, every design, the homes.
So he wasn't all bad.
Yeah. Well, that's first Mohammed Atta fan right here.
That's a great segue.
You know what's all good? Magic Spoon.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
It is delicious.
It is delicious, and we like to talk about it.
Yeah.
I like to talk about it.
You know when you were a kid and you could just eat any cereal you want to, you're just chunking down those, I can't say the word because it's a competitor.
Yeah.
Sugar-filled treats.
Yeah,
you can't do that anymore. You're an adult. Can't do
Crispy
it.
squares or something.
Yeah.
You might call them.
Don't do that anymore because your adult body can't process the sugars the same way and you become fat. So in a way to kind of curb that, if you're watching certain numbers, you could try Magic Spoon.
Yeah, each serving contains 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and 4 to 5 grams of net carbs per serving. Best flavors, in my opinion, blueberry muffin.
I like cinnamon.
Ooh, I like maple waffle.
Maple waffle's good too.
Honey nut, which is my nickname. And you can go ahead and you can make treats with them, like Magic Spoon treats.
Yeah.
Which are perfect for your kid on the go.
Yeah, you can put it in a trail mix or something. I like to just eat it out of the bag. That's the best way.
Well,
Don't add all the milks,
I put my unwashed hand in it and share it with the family. But I do. I like it a lot.
Oh, it's way too premium for kids.
It is.
They could have it, but I don't let my kids have it because they eat the bottom of the shelf stuff.
They have to earn it.
Yes.
That's what I always say.
You give them
This is for winners.
It is. It's for winners. Mm-hmm. And if you want good Magic Spoon, you're gonna have to do something to earn it.
That's right.
And they go, I will. And my son cured cancer. Wow. So you can go to magicspoon.com/normal and you will get yourself a deal.
Yeah, right there.
This fine product. What is that deal, Angela?
What?
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think there's a you could do a trial package. It has like 4 different flavors you can pick. You can make mix and match the different ones.
Okay.
You can try the ones that I like. There's a frosted one as well.
I'm going to get one you think it heats up.
I didn't understand the question, but the promo code normal, you save $5 off. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's not your fault.
Oh, no.
Well, it is.
Yeah,
and it's mainly mine because I didn't look down and just read the thing. But I will say, if you go to normal, you will be satisfied. And you will save $5. And you're going to see me on the street and go, Dave, those were delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I have a hug? And I'll go, don't touch me.
Yeah, you stink.
Magicspoon.com/normal.
There it is.
It's really good. Try it.
Yes.
Today.
And in no way is that connected to anything we said before or after.
In no way whatsoever. Okay.
Stop and now. Okay.
No one.
Next story is
Epstein Islanders.
Trump's rape.
Jeez.
Oh no, Trump didn't get. Okay, this is a different thing.
Oh no, he didn't. Trump didn't rape anyone. Like,
right? Yeah. This is a trial.
Yeah.
Go to trials.
I went to the first day. Can I do something about the previous case?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
I want to talk more about it. I don't know much about Mohammed Atta. I know he ruined the 11th for me.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm talking about Donald Trump's case against Jean Carroll. Jean Carroll.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, the trial is being held solely to determine how much Trump must pay.
Yeah, and so this is a defamation case, but I didn't know for the civil case, she could not prove that Trump raped her.
Okay.
The jurors say no.
Yeah.
But they got second part with, it should be delicate, but fingering her vagina with his fingers.
Digitally. And
they said that all you have to do is prove 51% probability. And that's all it takes to prove that you did that, Like 51%, that's all,
yeah.
So I'm not saying it didn't happen, but can you imagine if you're Trump, like, I didn't do it. It only takes 51% to prove, like, I suppose assaulted her,
That's wild, man. I see Trump showing up in court without any fingers.
How do you
He
explain
did the
that?
O.J. Simpson black.
Yeah, he's
know, like
How could I bang anyone when I've had stubs my whole life?
You all know.
just has carrots taped to his hands.
So the trial is a defamation.
Carrot fingers.
It's a defamation trial
Baby
against
carrots.
Trump because Trump denied her claims that he raped her.
Well, she won that case, so he cannot say he didn't.
Gotcha.
The judge will like punish him for that, but he's
Okay.
really pissed. If it's innocent, then I could see why he's so angry about him. And it just seems absurd. Like middle of the afternoon, he meets her and decide to take her to a dressing room and start fingering her. You
Yeah.
know? And he never.
He lost this
Afternoon delight.
This is still going.
thought
It's
everyone
going on.
would do
Okay.
that.
There's a couple of days of delays, but so I got there early. I got there a little too early because I learned from Ghislaine Maxwell you have to go early because there's huge
Right, we
long
were talking
line.
about
She
And I
taught
got
you that personally
what?
Hey,
when you were at Epstein's house.
Wow, I didn't expect you to say.
Sorry.
got some lessons.
You got me on that one. I got there early, and it was a little too early. You could see all the news people were there. So I came back a couple hours later, and I got in the line, and I didn't make the cut because second time when I returned, I got a little too late. I don't know. I got lost, and I did see back of the President Trump's back as walking into the hallway, but I did see E. Jean Carroll. She's the accuser, and what I thought was funny when the defense attorney was defending Trump, because she's saying this, Trump calling her a liar, hurt her reputation and her career. But man, she's more popular than ever. She's selling more books than ever. She's hanging out with those A-list friends. And defense attorney showing all these pictures where she's happy and getting airtime. Like this, like sometimes, I wish somebody would finger me. So I have some.
Well, there's
I can
definitely a
arrange that.
benefit. There's definitely a benefit to what's happening.
I mean, I can do it. It won't help.
So two things could be true. She could be victim and benefiting from it, or she's a liar and hurting Trump. I wasn't
to
there,
tell.
but it's a theory because Judge Kaplan kept saying, "I'm not going to give you opportunity to go to your mother-in-law's funeral." I don't know. I thought.
What is the 10 million in damages to her for then? Because if she's
Did he hold her down while he was doing? This is complicated.
that's what I don't
Physics.
She won.
Yeah.
She won
It's the
the
logistics
original
of this.
defamation, and he kept saying he's innocent. She's a liar. So,
Right.
so she's going after him again, I guess. And
She would just have to close her legs.
oh my god.
No, I mean
Because
there's
if it's just the fingers, because rape's like you can use your body.
no, I mean
Was she intoxicated in some way? I don't know what the case was.
I think
It was during the day.
Just in the middle of the day.
You can be intoxicated during the day. Let me tell you.
Well,
yeah, you can.
Let me tell you.
you need to stop talking about yourself.
I'm sorry.
You can be sobered and fingered during the day. Let me tell
Okay,
you.
all right. A lot of action going
I
around
was
here.
in prison.
And I heard I wasn't there on the second day, but I heard every time defense were saying something, Trump wasn't saying this, but he was basically saying stuff like this lying bitch. Or, not exactly that word, but like she's a liar and the fake news. And the judge kept hearing that. He's ready to kick him out. And he said, if you keep talking like that, Mr. Trump, I'm going to kick you out. And he's like, go ahead.
Wow.
Trump was like, how dare you? That's why I think most people love Trump. He's kind of like those quarterback,
That's interesting. Me and Trump have similar court experiences.
What?
You do. You can share.
Did you
yours.
finger?
No, I mean,
Reasons?
I don't know if I should.
Oh,
But Trump.
Legally.
you aren't a very good lawyer to yourself, so I don't know if you should. But
Yeah, the same thing. I like Trump not respecting the courtroom or judges.
Trump is like those quarterback. It's you're down, fourth down, 32 yards to go, and every time you think you could corner him, and they're trying to do that, he'll throw this bomb for 50 yards, and they think it's working. It's not working. Even people that doesn't like Trump, they realize this is like collectively everyone is going after him, and none of this feels right to me. It makes no sense because if you start going after president for doing something during presidency, that too, why would any president's going to do anything? Because they're worried after getting out of the office, they could be held responsible for bombing another country or whatnot, And
Absolutely. And I mean, they're going after him for things that every president does. They started with keeping files. They started with, all sorts of these regulations that didn't exist for any president.
yeah, Biden did the same thing.
Absolutely, he did.
Yeah.
And they don't go
Trump
after
knew
him.
where they were, but Biden's Biden. But that's
Yes.
Yeah.
But the part of it is, I think people are becoming more angry with that, regardless of, because Trump could be a polarizing figure, especially to people that were against him.
Yeah.
I think it is hard to ignore the fact that it is an entire network of government as well as media that are pushing out these narratives. And I mean, you have a narrative like this where if Jean Carroll, she claimed that he's a rapist, and it was found that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. And then she's saying that, he's tarnishing her good name. It's like, you called him a rapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want $10 million more dollars? I don't understand where the logic is in that, especially if he's not guilty. Like, rape's obviously a horrible crime, regardless of what appendage you use. But if it didn't happen, like, why would somebody be rewarded for something like that? Yeah. And it is odd to me of the people who so many years later, I don't know.
And after so many other court cases have been filed, and stories like Stormy Daniels and the Golden Showers, which was incorrect and not a real story.
They've hit him from every angle.
They've hit him with a lot of stuff, and this is in an election year.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a victim blamer, but why did you wait till
Well, in a previous case,
this year?
Jean Carroll claims that she told a couple of her friends right after what happened to her, and there's witness. But I could just say the same thing about Bill Clinton with Juanita Wajcik. She told her friend right away, and Clinton supposedly assaulted her 8:30 in the morning. This is really weird because
he's an early riser.
Oh, dude.
Get the job done early.
In the future, they're just going to pick a president and then turn him into a eunuch as a child. So they'd be like, he hasn't had a dick since he was 6 days old.
They put a set of toys out from previous presidents and be like, which one?
but
You reached for that one? He's like, JFK.
You really got a point because they want perfect human beings, and none of us are that. And
No.
imagine.
I mean, I would like my president not to rate people digitally. I don't know if I feel like it's a low bar.
Digitally. You're like, digitally. I want it the good old fashioned way, but don't bring in computers.
Analog, baby.
Imagine for you and
Or
audience.
like analog.
Imagine for you and your audience member, like it only takes 51%
Glad you said
probability that you might have done something. It is a little frightening to me,
That's all it takes.
Yeah, it is.
Whoever told a better story at the court, and you're done for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there used to be a lot more lawyering going on before, DNA and all this other stuff. Like they really had to prove a case. And now it just seems like you really just have to create a little bit of doubt or, a little bit of suspicion. And then that's what it's all based on. And the sentences seem insanely imbalanced depending on who the person is.
Or you can just rhyme. If the glove doesn't fit, just acquit. And they're like, he rhymes.
Like, dang.
That's a hard time. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, on the first
That's what won it.
on the first day, it was a jury selection, so I thought it's going to take a couple of days. They got it done all in one day, and they had an opening statement. But there was a guy, he was clearly pro-Trump, and before they asked him the question, he was saying everything positive about Trump, and he got up, stand up. He was like, I'm not kidding, this guy was ready to suck Trump's dick. I mean, this is how much he loved the guy,
Might have. 51% chance.
The judge has a MAGA robe. You're like, sir, this seems like a conflict.
And like I said, he was very hostile to Trump from get-go. He couldn't even give him a day to say respect to his mother-in-law,
Which is disgusting. I don't understand that at all. And I think that shows even more corruption on one side where I know people that have been released from prison to go to their own father's funeral. They've had to go with, obviously armed security and, guards. But that's a very strange thing where you wouldn't call a bit of a day off for that. That doesn't
It's
make
just
sense.
malicious.
It is. It's vindictive. That's the price. It sounds like payback, and that's not something that makes sense. in a court of law.
And if the role was reversed, if Jean Carroll needed to take a day for her family member's funeral, I think he would have granted, Well, at least I would have think he would,
I bet you're right. I mean,
He probably would have took her there.
Hop into my car.
to my judge copter. Yeah, there.
Judge copter.
It's very strange though, and like, okay, so Carol is seeking. She wants more than $10 million in damages.
Yeah.
And Trump's Truth Social account said, "Until the filing of this ridiculous lawsuit against me, I knew nothing about this woman, never heard of her, never touched her, and had nothing to do with her." That to me doesn't sound like as damaging as something that's being accused of him. Just personal opinion.
Just denying.
Yeah, I just think I don't see it. But you also went that I want to get into here. Were you at the Sam Bankman-Fried trial?
Yeah, that was
Amazing. What?
That was like 3-4 months ago. What was weird?
Yeah.
You have a hell of a hobby.
Dude,
Isn't it the best? Like,
it's fascinating.
It was the same building that I saw Trump last week, Sam Bankman-Fried. And other side, Trump was for different case that same.
You're like a
day.
season ticket holder at these trials. Like, what?
And I was really torn last week when I went to see Trump because there was also Rex Hellerman, the Long Island serial killer. His thing was around the corner, if I remember.
Seriously?
Yeah, double hitters, and I wanted to go.
Awesome.
When I was in LA,
It's like a grindhouse.
It's incredible.
It is.
Double
Movies for the
feature.
price of one.
it's over a year ago when I was in LA. Danny Masterson and Harvey Weinstein came was same
Right.
floor, same time. So I was going. There was so much rape in air. I was going back and forth between the two
Hollywood.
rooms. But yeah,
Regardless of those trials, it's Hollywood.
yes.
It's always
It's just in the air.
that's actually what the smog is.
But Sam Bankman-Fried, is that something of interest to you, Dave?
It is. Well, you were at the Masterson trial too, right?
Yeah.
I remember we discussed that a bit, but for anybody to remind you of Sam Bankman-Fried, he was found guilty of 7 counts of fraud for his role in the collapse of the crypto exchange FTX.
Yeah.
Tom Brady also, he remembers.
Yes.
Wait, the Tom Brady of terrorism or the real Tom Brady?
Real Tom Brady.
real one.
Okay, he had invested quite heavily into FTX.
They also paid him a lot of money to commercials and things like that.
Yeah.
I have a question of the two. How did you feel that Trump's treatment was versus Sam Bankman-Fried's?
Oh.
It was very civil, but I thought it was strange. He was so relaxed and confident, and believe me, none of us want to hear this phrase, United States versus then your name. This is absolutely the worst thing could happen to you because you have the weight of the whole country going after you. And I don't know how much he knew how serious of a trouble he was in because his ex-girlfriend, all his best friends and all.
Oh, was that piece of arse there?
Oh, yeah.
They were turning against him. And when he spoke, I wasn't there for that day, but it was a completely disaster. And you got to remember, Elizabeth Holmes lost $4 billion. He lost $9.5, $10 billion,
Right.
And I have to admit, it was very strange to see both of his parents. They're both Stanford lawyers, so they understand law. So I don't know if they knew what he was doing, but
Yeah, it's got to help when your kid's in a crypto problem because the parents don't get it.
oh yeah,
Because they can be like, oh, yeah, he was, smuggling cocaine. They'd be like, I understand. They're like, it's crypto. They'd be like, I don't get it.
Like, is this like arcade
What
tickets
is
or
it?
something?
What is a crypto?
I have a Coinbase
bouncy
thing.
ball?
But I think I lost money.
Was he selling graves?
Some kind of video game thing?
It's like nickels?
both of his parents were so old, I couldn't tell which one was father and mother.
Oh, yeah, they start melding. And
You know what? It's too bad one of them didn't die, so we could see if he could have went to a funeral.
Oh Jesus!
No, I mean just to then we
to see.
really have a comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, they died a little that day.
But just like Ghislaine Maxwell's family, I think they were concerned. But it does make me think weirdly nefarious way of thinking. It's not a very nice to think. But I almost thought they were more concerned what's going to happen to them because he bought them $18 million, $20 million property. So I think they might be concerned more of that it's not taken away from them, because I don't know how much time he's going to do, but if Elizabeth Holmes doing 15, 18 years for $4 billion, what's $10 billion going to do, and
And I mean, she's a woman.
yeah.
Which they tend to get more lenient sentences.
And she was
right?
pregnant second time.
At the time, right? Yeah. So, and she, I mean, and that one was bonkers because that one was really kind of known from the beginning, where even her, her professors were going, "This isn't real. You can't just draw blood with this fake thing you made."
She's like, "Yes, I can."
And she's like, "But I just dropped out. Now I'm on the cover
what
of
if I
a
can?
magazine." It's like you said with what was the name of the magazine? Popular Mechanics.
Yeah.
It was basically just designed.
Yeah, it was originally just designed for scientists, academics to publish their theories because they would have to be published, but they could just be nonsense. And then it grew from there and actually became popular.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's essentially, I mean, what hers was this theory that she then played off as if it was a real thing. It's then doing diagnostic testing. Nobody's getting real results.
Yeah.
And so there is a human life capacity to that. Not that ruining somebody's financials permanently does not have that. That obviously has the same bearing. But I'm wondering if maybe because one is healthcare and one isn't, if he might, I don't know, he may get less. But it also,
I know what you're saying, because healthcare, you're endangering people's health.
and it's public, and the government's, not that they would ever do that. But
I think the last time I was here, I have this obsession with like serial killers and terrorists, and these renegade billionaire business people. They have one thing in common. They all have fantasy. So serial killers are killing people because they have vivid fantasy and they want to experience that, but it's never good as fantasy, so they have to keep killing. And if terrorists have this fantasy of if they destroy America, they will bring perfect Islamic utopia to the Middle East. And I think when you look like someone like Elizabeth Holmes, I don't think she's completely evil or anything. I really think she thought she's going to transform the world with health. She was misguided, but she had this fantasy, because I don't think she was necessarily motivated by money, this fantasy of bringing this health utopia. And I think Sam Bankman-Fried, with all his crazy thing that he did, at the end of the day, there was part of him that was trying to do social good. That they're misguided fantasies, And then I think we have to kind of manage
like
our
Thanos.
fantasy. And comedians are great because we always shit on other people's fantasy.
yeah,
Well,
because they're
they
points.
didn't have people to make fun of them.
Well, it's like a great example of why you shouldn't just give every kid a trophy. You shouldn't just
Yes.
be like you have a altruistic goal and you have a theory on how you're going to do it. That doesn't mean we just automatically give you money for that. It may just be all fake.
Well, and you're right. And I think this is why what you're saying, when you look into somebody like that who has that narcissistic tendency, in her mind, I guarantee you, the mental gymnastic was, this will eventually catch up to my lie.
Yeah.
And I will have the money to create this, because she was obsessed with being Steve Jobs.
Yes.
So in her
100%.
head, she thought that would eventually be something that happened.
Yeah.
And I think you have that thing with Sam Bankman-Fried where he's building that same thing where, okay, you do have people that build these crypto fortunes.
Yes, yes.
So it's not impossible. So why can't he be one of them? And what's crazy is the intellect it takes to make these fantasies a reality is the same intellect it would take to just make the thing.
Yeah.
But they don't have that actual competence for some reason to create that product and make that connection.
Or they just want to take the fast track, find a loophole.
And that's kind of what it is. And that's why, like with Elizabeth Holmes, you have her, she's dressing just like Steve Jobs.
Yes.
While she's still like...
Turtlenecks?
Yeah, whole
Yeah.
thing.
Exclusively.
She even changed her voice.
Yeah, she deepened her voice.
Yeah.
Oh, was she becoming like a man, or just one of
No.
She did it for mannerisms.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I don't have time for for family, really, but I will have 2 kids, but I won't be a great mother to them. Sort of the like the Steve Jobs angle of I don't have time in my busy day.
And
Well said, Dave.
I'm sure there was
You're
a lot
absolutely
of,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of people around both these people that were just affirming him, going like, yeah, you're doing great. You're doing really great. Like the Sam Bankman-Fried, he had a bunch of, crypto and financial channels doing puff pieces about him, saying how much great he's doing in the world with all of his extra funds, and how he looks disheveled, but he's really this financial genius. And there's a lot of that with Holmes as well.
I thought about you. I thought about you because we have a tendency to want geniuses and messiah type of person.
Yeah.
One time he had a conference talk where he talked about business and what he's doing to the world, and he was talking to a room full of like business writers and business people, and he was explaining his business while he was playing video game, and people were saying, he is such a genius. He could do two things, but I'm such a
No, he just got away with playing a video game and giving a talk. He's probably like, I am a genius.
okay. So I was thinking like that too because like to me,
It's kind of smart.
everybody's calling him genius, but the whole time I think like, wait, he's just been playing video game. Why does that make him genius? You know, and I think same thing. I love Tiger Woods, but same thing happened to him. When your parents keep saying you're going to be Messiah, saving the world, I think you're going to get a little crazy. I think both of those, Sam and Elizabeth, they were raised in a way that they're special,
Right.
they're perfect,
Yes.
they're going to change the world. A little bit of humility might be good for them, you know, and they had none of that.
You know what they just needed? They just needed to take a dump in a porta potty because nothing humbles you more.
Yes, sir.
Brings everybody down the baseline.
That's true. There's usually a beehive.
Yeah.
Like I always say, Kanye
Wasps
West.
up in the
If Kanye West would just take a dump in a porta potty in the like 100-degree weather,
Yeah.
Steamy one, yeah.
change his life.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's
No,
true
but
when-
Kanye West, famously, his mother used to basically call him genius, and he is. But
Yeah, extremely talented.
yeah,
yeah, he definitely was.
He's really good at taking other people's music and looping it. He's the best.
No, but yeah, it's true. And
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and I think our generations as well is just not thinking about the consequences
Yeah.
and what it actually takes to have greatness. We see this in a lot of different factors, like in movie making and science and in finance.
Yes.
where it's just you're gonna make the world a better place. Go do that, and they don't think of how am I going to make the world a better place. It's just like they buy into their own Kool-Aid and go, yes,
Well,
I will make
and
a change.
they won't tolerate anybody questioning them. That's the
Yes,
problem.
yeah.
We're in the stand-up comedy world. If you go comedy still like 15, 20 years ago, you have people like Patrice or Robert Kelly just talking shit and like putting you in your place, right? It's very humbling, but we all need that.
Yeah.
right.
Any of these kids growing up with none of that.
Well, and if you look in the past, like from even a couple hundred years ago, a lot of the most famous people whose literature we enjoy, like Emily Dickinson, famous painters, they didn't even become famous or known till after they were dead.
Yes.
Absolutely.
yeah,
They never saw it. They never experienced it in their
Yeah.
lifetime.
Well, it wasn't. They weren't doing it for the attention of other
Right.
people. They were doing it because they loved what it was.
Amen.
Yeah, and you don't see that as much anymore.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the times, like when you look at somebody like Tiger Woods, you look at other people, because Tiger Woods, people kind of forget he was a kind of a child star. Like he was known-
Prodigy.
Yeah.
on like that very young, and people know him as, in his 20s, whatever, teens.
Is he on
but-
Carson?
I
Was that-
believe-
they brought him.
yes,
it
I
was
believe he
there's
was, yeah.
Tiger Woods, this golf prodigy.
Yeah,
He's
and
a little kid.
And when
And
you
his dad was like, "Putt,
that's what I mean,
you
though.
son of a bitch."
It's not a strange connection to me, though, that you see him years later desperately seeking sex with anybody that he can.
Yes.
Because there's a love addiction there, because he's never received it. He's only received accolades and punishment for essentially what he's doing. So I think that there's a part of him that's going out to try to seek any validation or any kind of love that's not based on this like exact skill. I think it destroys somebody's psyche like that. I think Tiger Woods and Sam Bankman-Fried, I mean, maybe there's a similarity to that. I don't know what house he grew
Yeah.
up in. Maybe his parents being Stanford lawyers, it could have been very difficult on him, depending on how challenging they
I
were.
drove around the area that he lived, and it wasn't too far from Elizabeth Holmes. Those kinds of people live very close from each other. He went very exclusive school. So when you hang out with the same kind of people and who are very successful and keep telling positive things for each other, and they go to the same school, yeah, they're amazing.
It's like a bubble.
They don't really question
Yeah.
anything. They're confident about everything, you know.
But every time you say that guy's name, I just keep thinking the first thing is that those gays with the tigers.
Bankman-Fried.
Oh yeah.
Sigmund, I don't know.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sigmund and Bankman-Fried.
Yeah.
He's the one that replaced the one that got eaten.
Regarding
Tiger. It's interesting.
Are you good with
where-
tigers? No, but
where
okay.
that could be a very horrible thing for somebody's psyche, but it could also create very successful actual geniuses.
yeah.
Like the same process can create two different.
It can create,
things.
yes, it can. And I know a lot of people, I grew up in a city where you have certain people that were extraordinarily wealthy.
Yeah.
And I knew people that were very poor. And I mean, that would depend on who you were, but I mean, there's a lot of people who have that wealth and they just kind of, you're going to OD on a boat.
Yeah.
Like there's even a joke one time in Family Guy where they're like, that family's so wealthy, everyone has overdosed. Like
wow.
it's, but there's a truth to that because there's this sort of expectation you can never live up to.
Yes.
No matter what you do, you can never live up to what you already have or achieve what you've already been given. And I'm not saying like, oh, boo-hoo, but you are born into something that's different.
Yeah.
And so I think that can be difficult on some people like that. And I think obviously it is very, very humbling and very hard to be poor, but you don't know that if you've never experienced. Everybody in this room has been broke.
Yes.
They don't know what that's like. That's why the idea of what they want to do is so grandiose. Like the idea to think you can save the world, that's it. Like we were talking about Jordan Peterson earlier, but that is the clean your room idea though.
Yeah, where it's just like 12 things that normal people do.
And a 6-year-old should know where it's
Obvious.
you just got to clean your room. It's like you got to, because it's because can you really talk about how you're going to save the world when your house is a mess?
Right.
And that's to have that grandiose idea that you are going to change it and you're going to change the medicine. And you do want to put the cart before the horse before you've earned it. And that's really what I think in both these cases. It's like, I want to get to the end result so quick because nobody has patience anymore.
Right.
It's terrifying. Those kids are really,
do
really
stand up and
terrifying.
you'll find out that it takes decades to be able to do
So
something.
there'll be patience, and sometimes you'll be one of the greatest comics that ever lived, and you'll die alone in an apartment in Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stories we were talking about recently about workers, bosses trying to work with Gen Z and millennials and how difficult it is because they are entitled.
Yes.
They want to like step in the door and be making 6 figures and be the boss of like 20 people, but they don't want to do any of the work it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And that's just like a general sentiment that younger generations seem to have. And they don't realize the great things that they saw when they were growing up were created by people that worked extremely hard to get to that point. And
they have a tremendous amount of obsession what they're doing. And going back to Tiger, I have to say, because he and those other two people have one major thing in common, in my opinion. I always thought Tiger's inspiration was his dad because he was a wonderful father and always worked out. But it was actually the mom, because I heard a conversation with this reporter with the mom. She just said Tiger just need to go to this tournament and just kill them. Like, just kill. She was very aggressive
With
about
weapons?
Well, she was.
She had this killer instinct.
She was like the Tiger Mom, sort of, right?
She literally is Tiger Mom.
Well, that's true.
Tiger,
but like
yeah.
kind of that. I mean, I know it's sort of a race thing, but
Is she good with swords?
No, but just like the very, very hard. I mean, you're Asian. There's many cultures where the mother's very difficult on.
They're ruthless and cold-hearted.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of Jewish male friends. They're dumb enough to think Asian women are going to be gentle and easy to deal with. Like, they don't realize when they get married, they married a fucking dragon. And they're emotionally ruthless, And,
Right.
But
Shouldn't have said right.
Tiger had it. Elizabeth and Sam Bankman-Fried, they both had that killing instinct. It's just that they didn't have other element that humanize them, that they could have been a little bit more wise about it. But they just went a little too far, and they're suffering consequences for it. But they're not the only one. There's plenty of others doing that as we speak.
Yeah, wisdom is in short supply these days. There's a lot of knowledge.
Yes.
You can go to college and get knowledge. And
I don't think you can do that.
Information. Well, yeah, there's a whole lot less of that too.
I would agree.
But you can get it in paperwork, right? Something that could say, I've got knowledge, but you don't have the wisdom that goes along with it.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the most, interesting forms of even knowledge as of recent years was when they took down, Wall Street and almost creating their own. Their own. It wasn't a black swan event, obviously, but when they were able to use GameStop and AMC, and they went against them, and you watched billionaires and people panic with tax dollars, shut down Robinhood, and and try to take it. Which these people can't be making.
Yeah, literally changing the policy of Robinhood in real time.
And to try to understand.
Tom Segura's like, the poors are getting in on it.
And it's like and you have this sort of like it's just this very it's this very scary thing because you can tell that there's this very elite club.
Yes.
They don't want you in it, and that was a great example because I was watching that in such real time, of watching people panic, but then the richest people in the world are bailed out and forgiven and taken care of and coddled, and the poorest people who are making what you would consider a very humble amount of cash. I mean, even somebody who had invested $1,000 and all of a sudden they had $140,000. Not that that's little, but still, you have this amount of money, and they're like, "We can't have this.
Yeah.
This is madness.
This guy could buy half a house.
No.
I think I shut down this website."
We can't let the peasants have.
He won't be able
power.
to pay his property taxes, but he'll get the house.
Yeah,
I think this is reason why so many people love Trump, because resentment. There's something not right, you know. And I have to say, all this rioted place I went during COVID, I didn't like what they were doing. But one thing is true about young people. They know that something's not right and they're not going to do better than their parents. And they're very resentful of that. That I sympathize with them.
Yeah.
And I think Trump understands that resentment. Whether he going to give us solution, I don't know. But I think the GameStop thing, you're right. Like, there all some poor people making money. We can't allow that.
no.
Yeah.
We can't allow poor people to make money. So they interfere.
Well,
you
and
know?
the internet that was used to kind of spread this disinformation, division sort of thing, it all of a sudden was being used to unite, which is terrifying
Yeah.
to anybody who's in an elite upper class. You know, it's like, wait, they're using it for good? I don't understand. Shut down Reddit. Call some. You know,
There's only 1% of us.
and I think that's the reason why Trump got in the first place was based on he was taking on politicians by calling them on their crap right on stage, and you were watching people get flicked off.
Yeah.
And that was,
yeah.
was enjoyable.
He brought everyone Bill Clinton raped to a
Yeah. I mean, that was
to the debate.
it's a bold move.
That was the boldest.
And but I mean, he was doing those things, and you're right. That's what made him known. So you have a guy who's known for exposing that. Now what they're doing is they're proving him right,
Yes.
and that's why he's going to win again, or at least, you know, maybe on paper.
Yeah.
But it's like people are so interested in him again is because what he was saying and what people's suspicions were. You have the people that you're mad at who tax you, who take your money, who take money that doesn't exist from you anyway.
Yeah.
It's just all a game. There's
all
no
fake.
real money. There's nothing out. Like, it's all numbers. They print new money. Meanwhile, they're taxing you. None of it makes sense. And we are disenfranchised as a country. We are upset. And we're sitting here and we've been lied to. And for 4 years, the pandemic may have been 1 year, and people go, well, you know, when the pandemic happened, we've been living in the aftermath of it in a very, very hellish society now for 4 years, going on 4 years.
Yes.
It is a massive problem. And there's a reason that people have the right to be angry, because the world changed. It's like seeing people in masks now is not strange, and it hasn't been for 4 years. That's the length of high school.
Yeah.
That's the length of, like, that's a huge amount of time that we've shifted our lives and allowed these people to control us.
Well, imagine you're Gen Z and you're just now getting into college, or you're just now entering the workforce, and they shut the world down for 2.5 years to 3 years.
And the guy running
What are
the
you supposed to
country
do?
shit his pants in front of the Pope.
Yeah. Like, and you wonder why young people don't respect.
He really is the oracle of Omaha. You're the real deal.
Yes, yes.
You know, Dave, I was talking to my friend, and I don't want to mention his name, but he was in Davos last weekend because the World Economic Forum was going on. And of course, it's a big thing. It's networking, you know, a bunch of elite people network there. But the biggest thing they were concerned, among other things, like AI and Zelensky was there. Their biggest concern for them is Trump, because they don't want anything to disrupt the system, because they benefit from the system. And they don't like a guy like Trump because he's almost like, do you remember the commercial from '84 Super Bowl Olympics? The Apple commercial when the lady's running with the big hammer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
trying
sure.
to break.
Yeah.
Trump is the new version of that. He's trying to break shit that things are not going well for most people, you know.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm more on his side because something's not right. And I don't trust the people in government and corporate entities. I trust the American people and working class people. But these elite people, they're scumbags.
Trump
They
is
are.
the hammer of Thor.
And one of the things is still Apple. So, all right. We do have to get out of here in a second. I want to thank you both very much for coming on the show today. Yoshi,
Thanks, guys.
it's always a pleasure. I love having you on. Yeah, of course, Austin. I
you.
love having you on. Thank you for joining us. Now we bring you to the end of the world.
Meow.
What?
Meow.
Okay, this is a pretty important question. I'm going to have to get your answers as soon as I find where I wrote the
Where was
question.
the question?
I can't find it.
Just the question.
There was the question. I found it.
How many questions?
Oh, it's on the screen. I should have looked up, but I tend to look
I have so
down,
many pages.
mainly because I'm sad. So, I'm not. I'm not depressed today. I was this morning,
Oh, good.
and then I put my shoes on.
And then I hugged him real long.
Yep, he hugged me real long and
Just stared into
said,
his eyes.
"I'll let go if you won't be sad no more." And I've been in a good mood all day.
Yep.
I promise. A 76-year-old man pled guilty after stealing the original Wizard of Oz ruby slippers.
Oh, yeah. I heard about this.
Right out of Glenn's office.
Heard about this, yeah.
Telling the judge it was supposed to be the last score. What other bizarre items do you think this man has stolen in the past? All right, guys, it's the ruby slippers.
Yes. I'm a big fan of movie props and memorabilia like that.
Yes,
So
you are.
I would probably go for the penis tape from Silence of the Lambs.
I think that's
It's like a little obscure
yeah.
piece of Americana, you know?
And you can put the picture next to it and be like, that held that.
Yeah, it might still have like little curly hairs
That
on it.
held his bag of dreams. Angela?
Roofies from the set of Ghost Dad.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't know if there'd
Go
be
on.
any left, but I think it's a good dream.
Oh, there's got to be one.
Yeah, there's probably
Some
one.
dust at
Yeah.
the bottom at least.
There's one last Quaalude, and it was from the set of Ghost Dad. Yoshi.
My favorite, Schindler's List.
Oh, the list. Oh, list.
Of course, I'd rather have Epstein's list, but
Yeah, that's
real
true.
list.
Yeah, they won't give that one to you. They'll just tell you that Stephen Hawking. Do we have it? Do we have the audio?
Oh no!
Watch underage girls rub me where I can't feel.
It's dirty.
Oh man, it's
Disabled,
MS riddled man.
disabled people are really big perverts. I have to say.
Really?
Oh
At
yeah.
the porn convention,
every
these
one
sons
of
of
them.
bitches are going around. No, they're grabbing girl. No,
These Hawkins.
Oh, they're at that level. They're at butt grabbing level.
handicaps are the scumbag at the porn convention because because they're handicapped. Nobody's going to complain, but they're grabbing titties and ass. Like I'm
Man.
not joking. Nobody
Because
complains.
who's going to throw him out of their chair?
Exactly.
I'd dump him out.
No, but they were the worst. I'm telling you, they just a lot of dick grabbing too. So
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be easy to like grab an ass, and then when they turn around, you just put your arm down and pretend you're.
I'm sorry.
You're like,
Wheel away.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't me. I'm from the neck down, and then you turn around and you're like,
Yeah.
zip away real fast.
I bet none of them at the porn convention are even paralyzed.
no, it's true.
Oh, so you were there?
You're just Lieutenant Danning it. You're just sitting on your feet all day.
Well, I lost feeling in them. Tingly.
Austin, what movie prop would be your last score?
The pinball machine from The Accused.
My God.
Ooh. Ah. Oh my God. Did they clean it up?
I doubt it.
Just left that one?
It's just Foster all over. All right, I'm gonna
I'm
go.
a fan of Pinball in the Who.
Oh yeah. I think you're thinking of Tommy then.
That's a funny reference. Oh my God.
I'm gonna go with the butter from Last Tango in Paris. Go ahead, Google that and see how long you keep your hard drive. I'm Dave Landau,
I'm quarterback Garrett. My God.
and this show will be back. This
Tomorrow.
program tomorrow, same time, same place, same. Well, just come back.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.